Hi, welcome to BONITA'S Kitchen and thank you for joining us. Today I'm excited to bring to you a budget meal which is called a tuna casserole. Only a few simple ingredients, but it's put together quick and easy and oh so tasty. If this recipe interests you, stick around and let's get started. So here is our few simple ingredients. We got a can of tuna, we got some red pepper, cheese, onion. You could use dill. I'm going to use savory today, but you could use dill or herb that you enjoy having. I got some flour, onion powder, pepper, some crumbs here from cracker crumbs, or you could use salt and vinegar chips crushed up, butter and some milk. I'm going to be using elbow noodles, but you could use a noodle of choice, and I'll explain that as we go. So let's get over to the stovetop. So over here I already got my noodles cooked, so it's part cooked, and it's 2 cups of, I'm using elbow noodles, but you could use a noodle of choice. I'm going to put 2 tablespoonfuls of butter, or a little bit more, you haven't got to be too particular, and just about a tablespoonful of oil. I'm using olive oil, and a medium onion chopped up. So pretty much all we're going to do with that onion is let it cook until it's soft. I got a half a teaspoonful of onion powder, half a teaspoonful of black pepper. We're not going to be using any salt in this frying of the onion. We used a half a teaspoonful in cooking the noodles, and we got about a quarter of a teaspoonful. I'm using savory, but you could use dill. And I took off a cup of the pasta water that we're going to be using for a sauce after. So let's just let this cook on a medium heat until it's nice and soft. So when you see that your onion is starting to fry nice, toss in there about a small pepper. I got a bell pepper red. You could use green or yellow, doesn't matter what color. It's just to give that little bit of vegetable in there. And turn your oven on to 400 degrees Fahrenheit to get it ready for this delicious casserole to go into it. Okay, so pretty much that's all you need to do there. Again, you can toss some more things in there if you want to, some mushrooms or whatever you got on hand, because this is a budget meal. What you got in your fridge and your cupboards, you don't need to go out and buy it. 2 tablespoonfuls of flour, and this is, cook this down a little until it starts to turn into like a little bit of a paste. You can see there on the onion. And then what we're going to do, that cup of starch that we got, we're going to toss that into it gradually, just to start to make it turn into a little bit thickness, to do a little bit of a sauce. And I also got a cup of milk to put in there as well, but we'll get this going first. So pretty much that starch is going to bring everything together. And then that nice cup of milk to bring it creamy. And then I'll show you what other ingredients to add to it when this starts to thicken again. So now I got a cup of shredded cheese here. I'm going to put about a half a cup into the sauce. And then I'm going to put this delicious canned tuna in there. Just have it that it's flaked apart. Now these canned tuna, sometimes it's a little salty, and I drained the juice, but I left a little bit there just to have that flavor. You could not put any salt. I never put no salt in this sauce, but I did put it in the noodles because that's pretty much the only time you'll get to season that. But leave it out of the sauce because that tuna is going to make it salty enough. Now what I'm going to do is take this back to my counter, and we're going to put all this together. This sauce tastes amazing. And with that tuna in there, you can just scoop this up and have it with just bread. Just drench it in there, you know. So having the noodles part cooked, it'll continue cooking in the pan, the casserole dish you're using. Doesn't matter, you could put this in a roaster. If you were using your cast iron pan here now, you can plop this into the oven into one pan without dirtying anything else up. But so pretty much all I'm doing here now is just blending all this sauce in together. And then I'm gonna spin around my board here. I'm gonna toss it into this pan and I'll show you what to do next. Now I'm gonna transport this into this pan and pretty much put all the goodness in there so that we could get this ready. I got my oven on there now for 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And what I'm going to do here next is put the rest of the shredded cheese over the top of this casserole.
Even the cheese looks good.
I know, it's yummy. So like I said, I add about a cup all in total. You don't need no more than that unless you just want it smothered in cheese. Now I'm going to be putting some crushed crackers over the top just to give it that crunch. You know, it'll brown off a little, the cheese will melt in through it. You can do about a half a cup to a cup. And all this is the crushed crackers that's in that box. You don't know what to do with. Crush it up, put it over the top. You could use also salt and vinegar chips. Would go lovely with this. That'll give that salt and vinegar taste on the top. Now let me tell you how long to bake it for. So now all you got to do is pop your casserole dish in the oven uncovered for 30 minutes or until golden brown, because everything in it is pretty well cooked and those noodles will continue cooking in that hot sauce. When it's done, I'll show you what it looks like. Yum, I can't wait to have some. Our tuna casserole is baked. And we'll take it out of the oven here now. Oh my gosh, it's just bubbling. Oh my gosh, it just smells delicious. Let's take it back to my countertop and scoop up some. So now I'm going to pour myself up a cup of tea, of course. And over here to the side, you can see this delicious tuna casserole. Now, I can see you want to make this one today, and if you like, you could make this a couple of different ways. One with your noodle of choice, your favorite noodle, of course. I'm going to put it right here. Or if you wanted to use ash browns and make it that way, instead of the noodles, it'll be the ash browns, and that'll give you another little delicious, affordable meal. But just look how lovely it is with all of that sauce. And serve it with a few vegetables and a roll, hot cup of tea, and your family is going to love you.
As we would say, you got it made in the shade.
Yes, sir, you better believe it. Yum. I can't wait to have a taste of this here now. Of course, this is our supper tonight. But instead of just making supper and not sharing it with you, we wanted to show you how good it is to make a budget-friendly meal. You can taste that tuna in there with the flavors and that little crunch of peppers and that crunch on the top of the crackers. Drop the fork, budget delicious. I can't wait for you to make it, and please let us know what you think of it or how you make it if you make this same meal. The tea was delicious. Now this is it, it's as good as it gets. You know, it's only a few simple ingredients. You want to change it up, use a noodle that you like cooking, and you can also use the ash browns or tater tots. Either one of them is going to look lovely, taste lovely in this meal. If you need more information on it, we'll leave the recipe below this video. We'll also share it on our Facebook page, of course our website, www.BONITA'Skitchen.com, and of course always right here on YouTube. So before I go, I'd like to do a big shout out to our paid members. Thank you for supporting our kitchen and stopping by each week and leaving your sweet message and telling us what you think of our recipes. And as well to all of our subscribers, we appreciate each and every one of you, and we welcome new subscribers. So of course, you know what I'm going to do now. I'm going to take this plate and run.
But I'll run behind you.
You will, yes. On behalf of myself,
and me, of course.
Raymond, and our team, and from our kitchen to yours,
you have a wonderful day. Toodaloo.
Join us by the sea, a journey in culinary, always an open door. Bonita's kitchen to yours. Bonita's kitchen, to yours.